As we continue our study in Ephesians 5, Paul teaches that a husband's primary calling in marriage is Christ-like love. The command, "Husbands, love your wives," uses the Greek word agape, pointing to a love that is selfless, sacrificial, unconditional. A husband's love for his wife is compared to Christ's love for the church, a love demonstrated through total self-giving, even to the point of death. This means a husband is to pursue his wife's highest good, even when it requires personal sacrifice. And now, here's Pastor Todd.
Thank you for joining us for the midweek message. We've been talking about the way in which this change that takes place internally has an external expression. It's expressed through the fruit that we produce. It's expressed through the light of Christ in the world around us, the light of Christ in relationships. It's expressed in relationships in the family dynamic. We talked about the wife and the husband, and now we're talking about the husband to the wife. Last week we talked about the responsibility of the husband. This idea of her submitting to the husband seems like the more difficult, but the truth is that the onus lies upon the husband themselves. They have a great responsibility to treat her as Christ treated the church. So today we're going to take that a step further. The relationship between the husband and wife ought to be a relationship with a dynamic of sacrifice. The husband is not only called or actually commanded to love the wife, he's also commanded to sacrifice his life for her, for his family. So let's look at this idea of sacrifice within Ephesians chapter 5, verse 28. So husbands ought to love their own wives as their own bodies. He who loves his wife loves himself. For no one ever hated his own flesh, but nourishes and cherishes it, just as the Lord does the church. For we are members of His body, of His flesh, and of His bones. For this reason a man shall leave his father and mother, and be joined to his wife, and the two shall become one flesh. This is a great mystery, but I speak concerning Christ and the church. Nevertheless, let each one of you in particular so love his own wife as himself, and let the wife see that she respects her husband. This issue of submission may be a greater issue of the expectation of sacrifice. And it's not the wife sacrificing for the husband, it's actually the husband sacrificing for the wife. You see, sacrifice is the one of the traits of true love. Now, we live in a world today where we talk about loving our dog and our cat and our kids and our parents, and we love the earth and the moon and the stars and the trees. We love caterpillars and butterflies, but here's the truth. Love is a choice. Love is a verb. Love leads to action. We make the choice to love other people. We make the choice to love our families. We make the choice to love our wives. This idea that love and feeling are connected, I want to tell you, is a terrible concept. Feelings change constantly. I feel hot, I feel cold, I feel tired, I feel like I've got more energy than I know what to do with. I feel all kinds of things. My feelings are constantly in a state of change, but love never changes. Love is a choice. Whether you feel like it or not, you make the choice to love. Sacrifice is a part of true love. In verse 28, it makes it very clear that the husband ought to love his wife as his own bodies. He who loves his wife loves himself. I want to tell you, everyone loves themselves. They will protect themselves at all costs. But the truth is that we're called to sacrifice ourselves for our wives. Let me repeat that. As husbands, we're called to sacrifice our life, our bodies, for her. And you say, well, yeah, if it ever came down to it, I'd step in between her and whatever danger may come our way. I want to tell you, that's not how that works. It's a daily choice. It's a daily choice of giving up what you want for what she needs. Sacrifice is a trait of true love. Sacrifice keeps a person focused on the nourishing and cherishing of the other person. If you're truly sacrificing on a daily basis for your wife, you are focused on nourishing her and cherishing her. When your focus is upon her well-being, upon her growth, upon her health, upon her well-being, not your own, you are truly sacrificing for her. What she needs becomes more important than what you want. I want to tell you, that's a hard thing as a husband to realize. But we're called to cherish her in such a way that she is nourished and encouraged. Number 3, sacrifice keeps a person focused on the importance of the relationship above all others. For a lot of husbands, they forget that they are not called to sacrifice their lives for their work. And that's a difficult thing, because we use that excuse as we're taking care of our family, we're taking care of our wives, this is what God's called me to do, this is who I am. Your work is not who you are. Your relationship with God should come first through Jesus Christ, and then your relationship with your wife should come second. In everything you do, the relationship dynamic that you have with her, you're sacrificing for her, should mean that that relationship is more important than the jobs that we do, the other people that we know, the other things that we do, the other places that we go. We live in a world that is very much all about me. I want to make sure my needs are met and my feelings are heard, and that I get what I want and what I need. And then if I get what I want and I need, then I can give to them. That is exactly opposite of what this says. It says that we sacrifice our lives as husbands so that our wives are encouraged, are helped, are strengthened. We give it all for them. That relationship should be paramount in our lives. Sacrifice keeps us focused on the relationship, but then sacrifice is also the trait that leads to respect. So many husbands say, my wife doesn't respect me, as though you could demand respect from another person. It doesn't work that way. You see, respect is earned through sacrifice. When she sees that you are willing to give your life for your family, when you are willing to give your life for her, it will lead her to respecting you on a greater level. It makes this idea of submitting possible. A lot of times the wife doesn't want to submit to the husbands, many times because she doesn't respect him. He says one thing and does another. He says one thing and treats her another way. He says that he loves her and yet never sacrifices. You see, sacrifice for the husband is the key to the dynamic of the family. The family needs to see you sacrifice for them the way that Christ sacrificed for the church. He gave everything for the church. So the next time you think that your wife doesn't respect you, ask yourself, am I sacrificing for her the way that I should? Am I sacrificing for her in a way that she is able to see Christ in me and want Christ to be a part of her life? Sacrificing is difficult. When we talk about the dynamic between the husband and wife, I want to tell you the more difficult part is the job the husband has to do, and the way in which he sacrifices his life and the way in which he commits to the relationship. So before you bail, before you get all upset and take your toys and go home, I want to tell you something. Think about, ask yourself the question, have I sacrificed for her the way that Christ has sacrificed for me? It'll change the dynamic. It changes the way in which you see the relationship. Thank you for watching. I pray that God moves in your relationships today. Have a great week.